So if you're looking for a place to board your horse, there's some things to consider that can help you narrow down things that will have value to you and hopefully give your horse a calm and safe place to be kept. Hi there, I'm Sam. My horse training business is Alternative Horsemanship with Samantha Harvey. You can find us at learnhorses.com. One of the things I always suggest if you're checking out a boarding facility is make sure you go on site. You have to walk on site and look around to see what is the current care of the horses that are there. You could look at things like physically, how do the horses look weight-wise? Does it look like every single horse is incredibly overweight? Does it look like every single horse is very light and could use a few extra pounds? You want to notice things like safety features as far as, does it look like there's, a pile of barbed wire fence? Yes, there still are facilities that have that. Is there stalls that are cleaned out regularly? If they're in pasture setting, what kind of fencing is the setup? Does the manure get drugged so that it gets broken down so that there's less parasite infection? You want to notice if your horse is going to be able to be either social or not, depending on your horse and his needs and depending on what the facility offers. You want to find out who's handling your horse. This is a big one because sometimes the person who owns the facility has a lot of skills and experience, but they will often hire people who don't have horse handling experience. And so every time your horse is maybe going to turn out, he might potentially be handled by someone who doesn't have the ability to recognize whatever he's communicating, and this can lead to potential unwanted behavior problems in the future. A big one that's a challenge at a lot of larger boarding facilities is feed and diet, because every horse is different, and often out of convenience and finances, most horses get fed the same thing. And so you want to find out what are the fees, what are the options as far as what your horse's current diet needs are, or if there needs to be adjustment to them, and what the boarding facility's standard feed program is, so that you know if there's any extra costs or if there's even the option. There are some facilities that don't allow people to feed an individualized program. Something else you want to think about is what is the energy or the vibe of most of the boarders there. So sometimes you'll go to a facility where it specializes in one type of boarders, meaning everybody has a specific discipline they're interested in, and other times there's a whole variety. And I can't tell you how many calls I get every year from people who become completely stressed out and overwhelmed every time they think about going to the barn because of whatever the attitude of other boarders are. And this is something that unfortunately can create a very toxic place. And if you're stressed out every time you show up to work with your horse is feeling that energy, and then it winds up leading to just a frustrating experience that you don't want to have. Something else you want to consider, some board facilities require that the horse is in training or under a trainer's guidance for a certain period of time. Or is it a facility where you can come and go? And in the rare occasion, there are also facilities where they provide the facility, but you provide the feed and care for your horses. This can also be a frustrating situation for many boarders who want to keep their horse safe and well and look at other boarders who maybe don't have the same standard of care and feel frustrated in what they're seeing of how the other horses are either being fed or not being fed. Little things to also think about: some boarding facilities require everyone to use the same vet or the same farrier. And again, not everybody meshes with everybody else. And so perhaps if you have a vet that you really like and you want to keep using and you have history with, but you find a facility that won't allow that vet to come in, that might be a deal breaker for you. The other thing you want to find out about is the liability coverage of the facility. So sometimes when we have horses boarded, we are allowed to ride our horses, but we have a friend who comes, we want them to ride, or we have someone else that maybe we want to half lease a horse to. You want to find out what the rules are of the boarding facility before you actually get your horse there. You want to find out little details, like if you have a horse trailer that you need to park, are they going to charge you extra? Or are there any other extras like graining the horse, blanketing the horse in winter time, turning out the horse, any sort of holding for the farrier if you're not able to be there? You want to ask as many questions as possible so that you can understand what are all the current and then potential costs that can add up, so that you're aware of not only what the energy and vibe and safety of the facility is, but also what the financial costs associated with boarding are. If you like what you saw today, be sure to check out all the links below, as there's a variety of ways to get in touch with me, from the video catalog to locals.com, so you get live stream content and personal one-on-one discussions. My remote horse coaching video catalog has over 165 videos that include rider mindset webinars, understanding horse behavior, improving rider confidence, dealing with the fearful and reactive horse, and many other everyday topics that many equine enthusiasts struggle with. On all social media platforms, be sure to search for me, #AlternativeHorsemanship. Again, all of the links are below in this video description and in the pinned comment. Be sure to leave me a message as to what you'd like to see as far as future topics.